a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Jim Carrey. James Eugene Carrey is a Canadian-American actor, comedian, impressionist, screenwriter, musician, producer and painter. He is known for his energetic slapstick performances. Carrey first gained recognition in America in 1990 after landing a recurring role in the sketch comedy television series In Living Color. His first leading roles in major productions came with Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, as well as a supporting role in Batman Forever and a lead role in Liar Liar. He gained critical acclaim starring in serious roles in The Truman Show and Man on the Moon, with each garnering him a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. In the 2000s, he gained further popularity for his portrayal of the Grinch in How the Grinch Stole Christmas and for the comedy Me, Myself and Irene, as well as Bruce Almighty, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, for which he was nominated for the BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Fun with Dick and Jane, Yes Man, Horton Hears a Who, and A Christmas Carol. In the 2010s, he has starred in Mr. Popper's Penguins and The Incredible Bert Wonderstone. In 2013, he appeared in Kick-Ass 2 as Colonel Stars and Stripes. He retracted support for the film 2 months prior to its release. He issued a statement via his Twitter account that, in light of the shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary, now in all good conscience I cannot support that level of violence. Carrey reprised his role as Lloyd Christmas in Dumb and Dumber 2. Early life. Carrey was born in the Toronto suburb of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, to Kathleen, a homemaker, and Percy Carrey, a musician and accountant. He was raised a Roman Catholic and has 3 older siblings, John, Patricia, and Rita. His mother was of French, Irish, and Scottish descent and his father was of French-Canadian ancestry. At age 10, Carrey wrote a letter to Carol Burnett of The Carol Burnett Show pointing out that he was already a master of impressions and should be considered for a role on the show. He was overjoyed when he received a formal letter reply. Carrey lived in Burlington, Ontario, for 8 years, and attended Aldershot High School. In a Hamilton Spectator interview, Carrey said, "If my career in show business hadn't panned out, I would probably be working today in Hamilton, Ontario, at the Dofasco Steel Mill." When looking across the Burlington Bay toward Hamilton, he could see the mills, and thought, those were where the great jobs were. Early work. While Carrey was struggling to obtain work and make a name for himself, his father tried to help the young comedian put together a stage act, driving him to Toronto to debut at comedy club Yuck Yucks. Carrey's impersonations bombed and this gave him doubts about his capabilities as a professional entertainer. His family's financial struggles made it difficult for them to support Carrey's ambitions. Eventually, the family's financial problems were resolved and they moved into a new home. With more domestic stability, Carrey returned to the stage with a more polished act. In a short period of time, he went from open mic nights to regular paid shows, building his reputation in the process. A reviewer in the Toronto Star raved that Carrey was a genuine star coming to life. Carrey was soon noticed by comedian Rodney Dangerfield, who signed the young comic to open his tour performances. Dangerfield eventually brought Carrey to Las Vegas. However, Carrey soon decided to move to Hollywood, where he began performing at the Comedy Store and, in 1982, appeared on the televised stand-up show An Evening at the Improv. The following year, he debuted his act on The Tonight Show. Despite his increasing popularity as a stand-up comic, Carrey turned his attention to the film and television industries, auditioning to be a cast member for the 1980-81 season of NBC's Saturday Night Live. Carrey was not selected for the position, although he later hosted the show in May 1996, January 2011, and October 2014. In 1984, Carrey was in the short-lived sitcom The Duck Factory. From 1990 to 1994, Carrey was a regular cast member of the ensemble comedy television series In Living Color. 1994, 1997, Rise to Fame. 1994 was a breakout year for Carrey. He appeared in the lead roles in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask and Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber was a commercial success, grossing over $270 million worldwide. He received his first Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor for his work in The Mask. In 1995, Carrey co-starred in the Joel Schumacher-directed superhero film Batman Forever, in which Batman tries to stop Two-Face and the Riddler in their villainous scheme to drain information from all the brains in Gotham City. The feature received poor reviews, with most criticism aimed at the movie's blatant commercialism, as characterized by Peter Travers. In that same year, Carrey reprised his role as Ace Ventura in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Like the original film, it was well received by the public, but heavily criticized by critics. It was a huge box office success, earning $212 million worldwide in addition to breaking records. With a $40 million opening weekend, Carrey earned $20 million for his next film, The Cable Guy. Directed by Ben Stiller, the film was a satirical black comedy, in which Carrey played a lonely, menacing cable TV installer who infiltrates the life of one of his customers. The role was a departure from the hapless, hyper, overconfident characters he had been known for. However, it did not fare well with most critics, many reacting to Carrey's change of tone from previous films. Carrey also starred in the music video of the film's closing song, Leave Me Alone, by Jerry Cantrell. Despite the reviews, The Cable Guy grossed $102 million worldwide. He soon bounced back in 1997 with the critically acclaimed comedy Liar Liar, playing Fletcher Reed, a successful lawyer who has built his career on lying, regularly breaking promises that he makes to his son, Max. Max soon makes a birthday wish that for just that one day, his dad would not be able to lie. Carrey was praised for his performance, earning a second Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor. Janet Maslin of the New York Times said, well into his tumultuous career, Mr. Carrey finally turns up in a straightforward comic vehicle. And the results are much wilder and funnier than this mundane material should have allowed. 1998-2006, critical acclaim. The following year he decided to take a pay cut to play the serious role of Truman Burbank in the satirical comedy drama film The Truman Show. The film was highly praised and brought Carrey further international acclaim, leading many to believe he would be nominated for an Oscar. Eventually, he did pick up his first Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. The Truman Show was a commercial success also, earning $264 million worldwide against a budget of $60 million. A Film 4 critic stated that the film allows Carrey to edge away from broad comedy, adding that it was a hilarious and breathtakingly conceived satire. That same year, Carrey appeared as a fictionalized version of himself on the final episode of Garry Shandling's The Larry Sanders Show, in which he deliberately ripped into Shandling's character. In 1999, Carrey had the lead role in Man on the Moon. He portrayed comedian Andy Kaufman to critical acclaim and received his second Golden Globe in a row. In addition, he received his first Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for Best Actor. In 2000, Carrey re-teamed with the Farrelly brothers, who had previously directed him in Dumb and Dumber, for the black comedy film Me, Myself and Irene, a film that received mixed reviews, but enjoyed box office success. Carrey played the role of State Trooper Charlie Bailey Gates, who has multiple personalities, and romances a woman portrayed by Renee Zellweger. That same year, Carrey starred in the second highest-grossing Christmas film of all time, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, playing the title character, for which he received both praise and criticism from critics alongside a Golden Globe nomination. For his next feature film, Carrey starred opposite Jennifer Aniston and Morgan Freeman in Tom Shadyak's international hit comedy Bruce Almighty. Carrey played a TV newsman who unexpectedly receives God's omnipotent abilities when the deity decides to take a vacation. The film received mixed reviews upon release, but despite this still became a financial success, earning over $484 million worldwide, and going on to become the 17th highest-grossing live-action comedy of all time. In 2004, Carrey starred in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The film received overwhelming acclaim upon release. Critics highly praised Carrey's portrayal of Joel Barish, in addition to the performance of his co-star Kate Winslet, who received an Oscar nomination. According to CNN's reviewer Paul Clinton, Carrey's performance was the actor's best, most mature, and sharply focused performance ever. Carrey received another Golden Globe nomination and his first BAFTA Award nomination for Best Actor. Carrey's next appearance was in the 2004 black comedy fantasy film Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, which was based on the popular children's novels of the same name. The film was positively received. Desson Thompson from The Washington Post said of Carrey's approach to the character of Count Olaf, "Olaf is a humorless villain in the book. He's not amusing like Carrey at all," to which I would counter, if you can't let Carrey be Carrey, put someone boring and less expensive in the role. In his various disguises he's rubbery, inventive and improvisationally inspired. I particularly liked his passing imitation of a dinosaur. That same year, Carrey was inducted into the Canadian Walk of Fame. 2007-present, continued success. In 2007, Carrey reunited with Joel Schumacher, director of Batman Forever, for the number 23, a psychological thriller co-starring Virginia Madsen and Danny Huston. In the film, Carrey plays a man who becomes obsessed with the number 23, after finding a book about a man with the same obsession. The film was panned by critics. The following year Carrey provided his voice for Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. Carrey voiced the beloved elephant for the CGI animated feature, which received overwhelmingly positive reviews and delivered family crowds en masse. The film was also a box office success, raking in over $290 million worldwide. Later that same year, Carrey returned to live-action comedy, starring opposite Zooey Deschanel and Bradley Cooper in Yes Man. Carrey played down-and-out man, Carl Allen, who had gone nowhere in life thanks to always saying no to everything, until he signs up for a self-help program that teaches him the power of saying yes. Despite reviews being mixed, Renee Rodriguez of the Miami Herald stated, "Yes Man is fine as far as Jim Carrey comedies go, but it's even better as a love story that just happens to make you laugh." The film had a decent performance at the box office, earning $225 million worldwide. Since 2009, Carrey's work has included a leading role in Glenn Ficarra and John Requa's I Love You Philip Morris, premiering in January 2009 at the Sundance Film Festival before receiving a wide release in February 2010. Carrey portrayed Stephen J. Russell, a con artist, imposter, and multiple prison escapee who falls in love with his fellow inmate, Philip Morris. The film received largely positive reviews, with Damon Wise of The Times giving the film 4 stars out of 5, stating, "I Love You Philip Morris is an extraordinary film that serves as a reminder of just how good Carrey can be when he's not tied into a generic Hollywood crowd pleaser. His comic timing remains as exquisite as ever." For the first time in his career, Carrey portrayed multiple characters in Disney's 3D animated take on the classic Charles Dickens tale, A Christmas Carol, voicing Ebenezer Scrooge and the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, the film also starred Robin Wright Penn, Bob Hoskins, Colin Firth, Gary Oldman, and Cary Elwes. The film received reasonable reviews and was a financial success. In 2011, Carrey landed the lead role in Mr. Popper's Penguins, playing Thomas "Tom" Popper Jr., a realtor who becomes the caretaker of a family of penguins. The film received a mixed reception upon release. In 2013, he starred alongside former co-star Steve Carell in the Don Scardino-directed comedy film The Incredible Bert Wonderstone. Carrey played Steve Gray, a dangerous street magician who overshadows the formerly successful magician Bert Wonderstone. The film was released in March 2013 to mixed reviews and underperformed significantly at the box office, grossing just over $27 million on a $30 million budget. Peter Farrelly said in April 2012 that Carrey and Jeff Daniels would return for a Dumb and Dumber sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2, with the Farrelly brothers writing and directing and a planned September 2012 production start. In June, however, Carrey's representative said Carrey had left the project because the comedian felt New Line and Warner Brothers were unenthusiastic toward it. However, on October 1, 2012, Yahoo's The Yo Show carried the news item that the script was complete and that the original actors, Carrey and Daniels, would be reprising their roles. The plot involved one of the characters having sired a child and needing to find them in order to obtain a kidney. Dumb and Dumber 2 was released in November 2014. In March 2013, Carrey announced that he had written a children's book titled How Roland Rolls, about a scared wave named Roland. He described it as kind of a metaphysical children's story, which deals with a lot of heavy stuff in a really childish way. Carrey self-published the book, which was released in September 2013. On March 25, 2013, Carrey released a parody music video with Eels Through Funny or Die, with Carrey replacing Mark Oliver Everett on vocals. The song and video, titled Cold Dead Hand, and set as a musical act during the variety program Hee Haw, lampoons American gun culture, and specifically former NRA spokesperson Charlton Heston. Carrey delivered the commencement address at Maharishi University of Management in Fairfield, Iowa, in May 2014, and received an honorary doctorate for his achievements as a comedian, artist, author, and philanthropist. Carrey was a producer on Rubble Kings, a 2015 documentary film that depicts events preceding and following the Ho Avenue peace meeting. On August 29, 2014, Carrey was honored by Canada Post with a limited edition postage stamp with his portrait on it. The stamps will not be reprinted once they are sold out. In June 2017, Showtime began airing the dramedy I'm Dying Up Here, for which Carrey served as the executive producer. The show, which chronicles a group of stand-up comics in 1970s Los Angeles, incorporates aspects of Carrey's own experience. In September of that year, that same network announced that he would be starring in a comedy series titled Kidding, which will reunite Carrey and director Michel Gondry. By the end of 2017, it was announced that Catherine Keener would star opposite Carrey in Kidding. Carrey was also the subject of 2 documentaries in 2017. The first, a short subject entitled I Needed Color about his lifelong passion for art, was released online in the summer. Later that year, another documentary, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, featuring a very special, contractually obligated mention of Tony Clifton, premiered at the Venice Film Festival and was later picked up by Netflix. The film chronicles the behind-the-scenes drama during the shooting of Man on the Moon, when he never broke character as Andy Kaufman. It incorporates footage that was shot for the film's electronic press kit, but ultimately pulled by Universal as they felt that it was too damaging. Relationships. Carrey has been married twice. His first marriage was to former actress and Comedy Store waitress Melissa Womer, whom he married on March 28, 1987. Their daughter, Jane Erin Carrey, was born September 6, 1987. Jane was a 2012 contestant on American Idol. Carrey and Womer divorced in 1995. A year later, on September 23, 1996, Carrey married his Dumb and Dumber co-star Lauren Holly. The marriage lasted less than a year. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Carrey had a much-publicized, short-lived romance with his Me, Myself and Irene co-star Renee Zellweger, to whom he was engaged from 1999 to 2000. Carrey met model and actress Jenny McCarthy in 2005 and made their relationship public in June 2006. In April 2010, the two ended their relationship. Despite the split and media circulations, in October 2010 McCarthy said, "Jim and I are still good friends." On September 28, 2015, Carrey's former girlfriend Katrina White, a native of County Tipperary, Ireland, was found dead from a prescription drug overdose. The couple first met in 2012. Carrey was a pallbearer at her funeral in Capperwhite. On September 19, 2016, Mark Burton, White's husband from 2013 until her death, filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey, claiming that he had used his immense wealth and celebrity status to illegally obtain and distribute prescription drugs involved in her death. Carrey released a statement the following day. In October 2016, White's mother, Bridget Sweetman, also filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey. In this suit, Sweetman's attorney states that Carrey underwent a test for sexually transmitted infections and purposely hid the results from Ms. White, whom he was intimately involved with, and failed to inform her that he had tested positive for hepatitis A, HSV 1 and 2, and chlamydia. To make matters worse, Carrey then proceeded to have unprotected sex with Ms. White with full knowledge that he was STD positive. Sweetman herself later issued a statement: "These documents show that Jim Carrey has lied to the media, the public and the court. Carrey has now been shown for what he is, a dishonest Hollywood celebrity who thinks he can say anything and fool people just because he is famous." The lawsuit was dismissed on January 25, 2018, and attorneys for both sides confirmed there would be no further legal proceedings. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?